What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to Dallas Game Day, where passion meets pride. And today, we're talking about something historic. Not just a win, not just stats, history. Because what happened on that field in East Rutherford wasn't just another Sunday in the NFL. It was a moment that rewrote the Dallas Cowboys record books. Two names, not stars, not household legends, but warriors who came to prove something. Javonte Williams and Ryan Flournoy. And what these two just accomplished, not even Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin ever did. Let that sink in for a second. In over 6 decades of Cowboys football, with Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers, and dynasties that shaped the league, no pair had ever done what these two pulled off against the Jets. 100 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving in the same half. That's right. Not Smith and Irvin, not Zeke and Dez, not Murray and Bryant. It took a 6th-round receiver who played for 3 different colleges and a running back everyone called a gamble in free agency to make history. And that's the magic of this team right now. Because for all the talk about who's injured, CeeDee Lamb sidelined, the defense banged up, these Cowboys are proving that depth, heart, and hunger still matter in the NFL. Let's start with Javonte Williams. The man was electric. He ran like he had something to prove, and maybe he does. 135 yards on the ground, another touchdown through the air. But it wasn't just the stats, it was the attitude, the power through contact, the vision, the balance. You could feel that energy shift when he touched the ball. Every carry looked like he was trying to remind the league that Dallas doesn't quit. Not this season, not under Brian Schottenheimer. And then there's Ryan Flournoy, the name that barely cracked the depth chart a few weeks ago. The guy who, if you blinked, you probably missed in the preseason. But this week, he exploded. 2 catches over 40 yards in the first half alone. 104 receiving yards before halftime. Smooth routes, perfect timing with Dak Prescott, and confidence that screamed, "I belong here." This kid went from forgotten prospect to highlight reel in one afternoon. And the best part? He didn't look surprised. He looked ready. Because that's what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And that's what this win was. Not just a blowout, not just redemption. It was a reminder of what makes Dallas special. We've seen teams with bigger names and louder hype, but this is a team built on grit. It's not about who gets the spotlight. It's about who steps up when the lights are brightest. When you've got Dak Prescott throwing 4 touchdowns, when your next man up goes for 100 yards, and your running back bulldozes through the trenches like he's writing his own legacy, that's not luck. That's culture. That's Cowboys football reborn. And here's the truth, Cowboys Nation. This is the kind of game that can change a season. Because now the locker room knows anyone can be the hero. Depth wins championships. Belief wins locker rooms. The energy is different now. You can feel it. Dak's playing with purpose. The offense looks confident. The defense, for the first time in weeks, played with pride. And now we've got something that's been missing in Big D for a while: momentum. Javonte Williams and Ryan Flournoy didn't just fill in for injured stars. They sent a message to the entire league: we're coming. And if these two underdogs can make history that even Emmitt and Irvin never touched, then maybe, just maybe, this season isn't about who's missing. It's about who's rising. So here's my question for you, Dallas Game Day family. Was this the performance that finally proved this team has championship DNA? Can this new wave of Cowboys, these young, hungry, overlooked players, carry the star back to glory? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe that this team's heart and fight make them contenders again, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and stay locked in. Because history isn't just about the past. It's about moments like this, when underdogs wear the star, rise to the challenge, and remind the world what it means to be Dallas. One team, one star, one fight. This is Dallas Game Day, and the Cowboys are writing a new chapter.